All right, now the chemical, guys. There. Hey, good morning, and welcome back to I Know Enough to Be Dangerous Farm. My name is Rob, and today it's wash day. No, not that wash day where all you have is one pair of underwear left, and that's the holy ones, and no, not that wash day. We're actually going to wash the tractors, and what we're going to do is we're going to compare four different soaps that you can use. We're going to use a water cannon. We're going to have two different water cannons, three different soaps. One is more of just a straight degreaser. You wouldn't want to use that in a water cannon, but I'll show you what I'm talking about. But normally, I like to keep my equipment clean, but it's usually a twice a year thing. Once in the spring, once in the fall. Maybe not on the little one because I washed it in the fall and it just gets put in a shed for the winter, so nothing happens to it. But the other two, they work a little bit in the winter time, so I like to do a spring cleaning on them. And I was in business, 20 years, small excavating and hardscapes, so I know it's tough to find the time to keep your equipment clean, but it will, take care of, it's taking care of your equipment, and it'll take care of you, is what I used to say to my guys, because the only time we used to have, it'd be Friday afternoon, and they would get paid, but you just want to go. But sometimes they'd come in on Saturday mornings, but that's beside the point. So keeping your equipment clean a lot of times keeps it cooler. You can find problems, or you can see symptoms of problems before they become a problem, like leaks and stuff like that, leaks and cracks and all that good stuff. But the other thing is, it's an emotional thing. You work so hard to get this equipment. Do you really want it looking like crap? Or if you are a contractor, do you want it looking like crap pulling up to a customer? No, you don't. 98% of the time, you don't. But I get it, contractors, you can't wash it all the time, but maybe once a month isn't too much to ask for. So we'll go around and we're going to clean the three tractors and use different soaps. So let's get to it. So the three soaps we're using cannon-wise are these three right here. The Purple Power is strictly heavy grease on rims, because that will fade paint. So you don't want to get that on your paint, but it really does good for degreasing. These other guys are supposed to be good for mud and stuff, and I think the first one's supposed to be a degreaser also, but we'll see. So the first one is the name brand WR. I've been holding off on getting that. Well, that's not true. When I bought that one from the site that used to just sell books but sells everything else but books now, I put in the search bar or search window this product, and this is what they do, and then they send this, and I didn't catch that because it looked like that in their pictures, and that's what they sent. So I jumped on that one because it was half the price of the one I wanted, and we're going to see if you get what you pay for. The one in the middle is from Chemical Guys. It's called Tough Mudder. It is a concentrate. There you put in, I don't know, I wrote on here 5 ounces of soap in the cannon. So in previous videos I've mentioned I don't like the unboxing. I think it's kind of weird, it's just whatever. But so let's do an unboxing as I've said that. So this is what I bought. This is called their cannon kit, and if you buy this and 3 other bottles of the Total Wash for off-road, that's all I got. They make a off-road one and like a street one. I don't have anything that goes on the street that I need super clean. So I got all Total Wash, but they got a special right now, and I bought this. They're not a sponsor. I didn't reach out to them to do this, so this is all on me. And we're going to see if this stuff is worth it. But if you buy this and 3 other bottles, you get 3 other bottles for free, and they ship it to you, for nothing. So, but this was $150, I think. Let's see what we got. But we got You know, you get a cannon nozzle, and you get 2 bottles. Um, the thing of it is with this stuff, and I guess I didn't uh, read it good enough, obviously, because I got this stuff. But these other ones, you know, you fill up this thing up to here, and then the rest you fill it with water, and then you're spraying out of this. This, you put their cannon right onto the jug, and there is an adjustment on here, but there's no dilution whatsoever, so it kind of makes it a lot more expensive. But again, we're going to see if it's worth it. Speaking of cannons, so this one on you know, that site that used to sell books, this came as like a kit. This supposedly came free with this, blah blah blah. But you know, besides this container, these things are the exact same thing. But this has a name brand on it, Dushin or Dushin. Oh, it's got this on it. So, and you can adjust it to fan or jet spray here just by turning this, but who wants jet spray foam cannon? But anyways, this what this comes with. You put this in here, and then you're good to go. You put this on the end of your nozzle, on the end of your pressure washer, and I'll get to what pressure washer we're using. And yeah, like I said, this is just going to be a degreaser, but we're going to try all these 3 on the tractor. And the toughest part, you know, I'm not expecting it to shed the grease like Purple Power does, and this is, you know, generic Purple Power, but it's the same stuff. And the only thing I would buy name brand is these squirt bottles, because those cheap ones, they're cheap. But this thing has obviously been beat around, rolled around, and still works good. It's like 5 years old. So this is the products we're going to use. Let's see the tools we're going to use. So here's the pressure washer we're using. It's just a Greenworks 2000 PSI. I got it for Father's Day. I've never used the soap dispenser because everything is a soap cannon now. So you don't need that anymore, Greenworks. It's just a waste of money. This is a roll-away cart thing, but I took it all apart because I keep this in the greenhouse, and I just pull the tractors up to the greenhouse, so it's kind of stationary except for the winter time. So as you can see, that Greenworks pressure washer is just 2000 psi. It is electric, so I have a gas one, but this is so much easier. Just turn a switch, and it has an extension cord that's about 30 feet long, so you're good there. And I've had this thing 4 years. I just bring it in the wintertime, drain it all out, and well, actually I don't even bring it in. I just drain it out and it goes on the shelf, and so that's how it's lasted. So this is the wand that comes with it. It does come with a cart, like I said, and a couple different nozzles. The quick connect, it comes with the nozzles. I don't know where the other nozzles are, probably with the rest of the parts for the cart, which are somewhere here. I just don't know. It doesn't matter. This is the nozzle I use. It's a 25-degree nozzle. And then most wands are similar now with this quick connect, and they all have the same male and female parts. So this off-brand one fits in there like that, and the WR will fit in the same way. And it does have little regulation or adjustments on how it comes out, but this one does use, you know, a concentrate, so you do dilute it in there. And like I said, you can turn this to fan or anything anyways. But back to the pressure washer itself, as far as the 2000 psi's, I know I got some, you know, yeah, well, you need 3500, blah blah blah, or whatever. 1500, 2000 psi is really all you want for pressure washing equipment, even lawnmowers and stuff. You get more than that, and you're ripping the decals, and you're doing damage to, like, the black plastic stuff that has that whitish haze. You'll do damage to that. And the biggest thing is you're ripping your decals off of your equipment. The newer equipment comes with the decals, the thick decals that look really great, but like I had Ferris mowers and it used to blow the decals right off, and it used to blow the decals right off. So you don't need more than 1500, 2000 PSI. No, we're not washing that, old girl. We would blow the paint right off of that thing. But anyway, so what we're doing is the 3 tractors that we have, and they're all a little bit different on the intense dirt. These tires and rims don't look too bad somehow, I don't know, but obviously I've been in the mud. On each of these tractors, there's different areas that you should not get wet, in my opinion. So one of the big things in one of my other videos, you'll see that this right here is the block heater, and we use that all the time in the winter time. But what happened is I determined that moisture got behind this and then shorted out the whole thing and almost burned my garage down. So I'm going to try to stay away from this area, especially because there's no dirt there. There's some mud down here, but right here I'm going to try to get nothing in there. But I think it's going to be a maintenance practice each fall. Before I use this, I'm going to take this off and make sure it's dry behind there, because there's 2 little prongs in there and a watertight seal, and if moisture gets in there, it allows moisture in there obviously, but not to get back out. So I'm going to take that out and make sure that's dry before I plug that thing in. So as you can see, this TYM has a lot of electrical stuff on it. It just, yeah, more than I would like on a tractor, but to get the creature comforts, you got to have this crap on it now. See, look at all these little wires. So I'm not going to get up in there into the motor. There's even little wires down there. Hopefully this isn't too bad, because I want to get some of this oily, greasy residue off. But other than that, you can just soak this tractor because it's a cab tractor. Just don't blow. You see, these are the intake vents or filters. Don't blow water right up in there. Just, don't be stupid. So in the back, there's still some glass there. I'm going to get off, and hopefully it's okay. I'll wash this off real quick. So then there's this New Holland, a lot dirtier, and we'll do some demonstrations on. We'll cut the tire in half, not cut it in half, but we'll do one half one product and the other half the other product, and we'll actually see which one does better without, we'll do the same type of thing to it, but just use different product. But we'll get this off out of here. She's not too bad. She's pretty old, so the paint is pretty faded. But on these New Hollands, there's really no computer or electronics, so you can get right in there and get that dust off. And this is what I mean, and clean out the radiators. And this is what I mean about you take care of your equipment, because this will make it run cooler if you don't have this layer of stuff, and you get better airflow out of your radiator. But again, the only thing I don't like getting wet is this console up here. But I've had this thing outside in the rain. None of these tractors stay out in the rain, but you get fog in there, and you always have it. And this is what I use for a ballast on this. I don't like, well, I guess the beet juice for ballast is still up in the air with me, but this is what I use for ballast, and I can put a little hitch on it so I move some trailers around. But other than that, you can get this whole thing drenched, except for the instrument cluster. I don't like to do that. And last but not least is the mighty small New Holland, and this one is going to be a great test. These tires are very, very dirty. They got a lot of old mud on them. I feel bad that I left it like this, but again, there's no electronics on this, but I'll stay away from here getting this wet. It does have electronic cruise control, but I'll stay away from that. And I will wash. I'll check the motor. Let's do it right now, I guess. So this one's got a cool little thing. Got to do that, and there's a latch down here. Oh, it does have some stuff in there. So we'll we'll blow that out. We'll get that all nice and clean. But yeah, there's no electronics on this thing. Or no computer, thank God. But be a good test of this. And then they'll wash this out. And no, I have not got my hydraulic side shift yet. Getting a little angry. So with a total wash, you just stick the cannon right in the jug. So that's what I'm going to do with this. Even though you're supposed to dilute this down, I don't think it's a fair comparison if I dilute this down and I don't dilute the other down. So what I'll do is I'll stick this cannon in there and do the left side of that tire and then move the white thing over, and then I'll do the right side of that tire with the chemical guys. See if this works. Should. Okay, here we go. All right, blow out the extra. Cool. Now the chemical guys. There. Now we'll do the total wash on the other tire. So I want to keep it kind of fair side by side stuff. So I'll do the chemical guys on the left side and then the total wash on the right side. Chemical guys also say don't use too much and don't let it stay on too long. So there we go. All right, so let's wash that off real quick. All right, it's been about a minute. Now we're gonna wash it off. I believe the Amazon was on the left, chemical guys was on the right. Okay, I don't want to dig in too much with the pressure washer. I don't know if that's a fair comparison, but as you can see, or maybe you can't see, I was expecting a definite line between these two products. There's really no difference. See, it's still muddy on that side, muddy on that side. Let's go see the other guys. All right, it's been about a minute again. We'll see what happened. So again, maybe I'm expecting too much here, but I thought I'd see a definite line between the cheap stuff. Well, I guess this was chemical guys and total wash. There's really no difference. Total wash still has a little residue. That has a residue too. So what we'll do now is we'll try the total wash and purple power on this front rim. And what we'll do now is we'll get the bigger stuff off. You're not supposed to have to do this with the total wash, but maybe you do. I don't know. All right, so let's do the total wash first. It looks like it's doing something, but you know, in the commercials you'll see bleeding of, you know, dirt and grime just falling off of it. Let's see what the purple power has to do. And we'll give that a minute. So before I rinse it off, you can see more brown stuff, you know, coming off of the tire for the Purple Power. It is browner, if that's a word, than it was on the back tire. Maybe we didn't let it set long enough on the back tire. We'll redo the back tire here. But you can see brown in these suds now. You couldn't before, and then any of these products don't let dry, so we got to get this off. So I don't know if you can tell, but I don't mind getting Purple Power on white paint because it kind of whitens all paint, so I don't mind on the rims and stuff. I cannot see a definite line, but I can see that this is a lot cleaner than that thing. So maybe the key is to wet it and then apply the product. So let's try that. And we're gonna wait a little bit longer. All right, total wash and chemical, guys. Get total wash out of there. Oh. Not sucking yet. Oh, there we go. All right, let me put that there so I don't forget. And while I'm waiting, I am going to blow out my radiator and rinse off the motor. So when you have a radiator that's all plugged up into fins like that, you got to spray it out because it got sucked in, so you got to spray it out this way. Okay, this time I don't know if you can see it, but there is a lot more mud being released from the tire because it's all brown. This is just shiny white. Doesn't seem to be any mud being released, even though it's called Tough Mudder. But let's see what it looks like pressure washed. Okay, well, I don't know what to say, I guess. There's no definite line, but this doesn't look, this might be a little cleaner, but this is just as clean as this now. We'll see what it looks like when it dries. Maybe it'll be a little bit different. So I'll use the total wash on this tractor. So it does look good, but it also is wet right now. But let's see, let it dry and see what it looks like, and we'll go do the other ones. Okay, I moved it into the shade and it's dry now. I think it looks pretty good. Tires look good, but I did go over all the tires with the Purple Power. But let's go to one of the other tractors. Let's do the bigger New Holland. That's really bad. I don't know if you can tell, but these tires are really dirty, grungy. They're not just mud, they just look old. So we'll do the comparison again. A little bit more, I guess, get the rim. Now this is full strength. Even though I put it in here, I put it full strength. Now the total wash, and I use the total wash cannon this time, and I'll turn it down because just doing that little tractor, I've used half of this bottle. So there's that. But I'll turn this down all the way to the minus setting. Seems like it's still coming out pretty good. We'll try that. And then one thing is this, or this generic water cannon will not fit on their jug. You can see the dirt and grime falling off on the total wash side. I will give you that. And again, on the other side, it's not doing it, but we'll see which one comes out cleaner. And again, side with that. And then just the purple power. So this side looks like the dirt's coming off good. This side, not so much. Instantly, the purple power, the dirt's coming off. Amazon wash looks good, but not much dirt coming off. We got to pressure wash this. Directions say do not let it dry. That's probably good for all of them. Let's do this one before they dry. We'll do them in the shade too because it's too much sun. So let's check it out while it's wet. Besides the steam coming off of it, the right side looks cleaner than the left side. That's purple power. That's Amazon. Now the total wash with the chemical guys. I don't know. The total wash maybe a little bit better. Let's do the other side that's in the shade though. All right, chemical guys. Seems like enough. The rim a little better. Let's do Amazon on the other side. Total wash. And purple power. So we'll let those set, but instantly the total wash is like grime and stuff falling off of it, and the purple power, same thing. You just can't see it as well because it's not white. There's just grime coming off the tire. These two chemical guys on the left side, you really can't see any grime. We'll wait a couple more minutes. Well, not a couple more minutes, a little bit longer. And yeah, the total wash on that side is all grime. And let's check the other side, what it looks like dry. Oh. We do have a definite line here. The left side versus the right side. I can't remember which one that was. I'll find out in editing what one was this left one, because there's a definite line. This one isn't perfect, but it's a lot better than that side. So we'll look into what one that is. And the big tire, I can't remember what we did here either, but I'll figure that out in editing. There's no difference. There's no definite line. So stay tuned. But you can definitely see a line right there. I don't know if that's coming up on camera. Total wash on that side. Purple power on that side. And then chemical guys and Amazon. Let's rinse. Like you're supposed to do it, just with the cannon. No pre-rinse, no nothing. I think we're running out. All right, in the shade, they're dry. There's no definite line there. Shade, they're dry. There's no definite line there. I have to figure out what happened to that other tire. But this is the TYM with the total wash. You can't judge the shininess because this tractor is a lot newer than the other tractors. But I think, because my normal process before would be treating the tires with purple power and then a cannon, a foam cannon. I didn't do either one of those, and I think the Total Wash does a little bit better from start to finish, but I still think the Purple Power, just on the rubber part, is your best bet for a clean looking tractor. So in closing, final thoughts. I think the best way is to treat the tires. If the tires have that old muddy grime on them, treat the tires, try not to get it on the rims. Treat the tires with Purple Power, and after it's been wet a little bit, then treat it with Purple Power. Then take the Total Wash, I think beats out the other two. Far as performance, we'll get into something else in a second. And then Total Wash the rest of the equipment. But one, it does seem very expensive. One, out of the gate, it's expensive, and it took a half a bottle on low for this little compact tractor. You know, their commercials, you're seeing them doing like combines and stuff. So I don't know. I ran out on the TYM, and I had half a bottle left. So yeah, it takes a lot of the Total Wash, but I think it's better. And the cheaper stuff, it tells you to dilute it and all that stuff, but I don't think it works as good when you dilute it. Yeah, it'll go farther, but I guess if you're treating your tires with Purple Power and then using the cheaper stuff, it would work for you diluted. But I don't know. For performance wise, it's Purple Power on the tires and Total Wash on the rest of the rig. Far as economics, you know, chemical guys or that Walmart brand seem to be the same. I'm going to check what is different on that front of that New Holland. Maybe I'll change my mind after I do some editing, but there's a definite line on that one tire on the New Holland, and I better fix that or that's going to bug me. So I'll put some Purple Power on that because I know that'll work. Clean that off. But the tractors are clean. It was wash day, and not the one with your holy underwear, but everything is nice and clean now, and I didn't see any problems on the older New Holland. There was like a film of dirt and grime on the front of the engine, but I know I have a hydraulic leak on that. We'll fix that sometime, but I washed that all off, and you know that engine should be running the temperature it's supposed to be running now. So thanks for stopping by, and take care. Oh, one other thing is the other soap. You notice, you know, I didn't have any gloves. I probably should have, or an eye protection, but I didn't. The Total Wash, you can feel it on your hands. The other ones, the Purple Power, you can feel it on your hands. Definitely never use Purple Power without gloves. But the Total Wash seemed to have a little tingling going on. The other two, nothing.